In our most recent series of One Acts, there was a piece I had written called The End of the World, which featured Tim and Damien again as roommates who are going through a blackout, but Tim's character thinks there might be a little bit more involved. And remember, we're trying to have a laugh here with this series. So even though Tim's character goes down a very dark path in this overall piece, in this sequence, there's a display of my being very notorious about hearing other people's conversations and incorporating them into our scripts. Yes, people are afraid to talk around me because they know things they say might end up in a script somewhere, and a particular conversation between Tim and Damien, maybe a year or two earlier, in which they were challenging each other over who was a better actor, and how many actors that Tim could name that were better than Kurt Russell. It was a funny conversation at the time, and it was a funny conversation in terms of incorporating it into this overall one-act script. And I think they enjoyed performing it, although they will probably to the end of time say that I stole this from them, which I guess I kind of did.
I read somewhere that Walt Disney's last words were Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell, the actor?
Yeah, pretty cool, huh?
It's not profound or mysterious.
And why him? I mean, Russell was just a kid when Disney died. I mean, years away from making all those family pictures like The Barefoot Executive or The Strongest Man in the World. I mean, all the people Disney knew, he could have name dropped just about anybody. But no, one of the preeminent creative geniuses of the last century. Before he checks out, he name drops one of the best actors ever. You don't find that intriguing?
Kurt Russell isn't one of the best actors ever.
What did you say?
Kurt Russell. He's overrated.
Hello? Big Trouble in Little China. Done. End of discussion. Consider yourself rustled.
I can name 100 actors better than Kurt Russell without even thinking.
100? Me crazy?
Well, if all we're doing is killing time.
All right. Here. I'll bet you $50 you can't name 100 actors better than Kurt Russell.
Well, are there any stupid rules, like they all have to be Polish or born in 1945 or something random like that?
No tricks, no rules. 100 actors, living or dead.
No problem. 1. Leonardo DiCaprio.
Whoa, stop. Seriously, you're starting off with him? Now you're just embarrassing yourself. Look, I want to win this bet fair and square, okay? So do me a favor, take your time, think it through, and I'll give you till tomorrow to come up with an actual list.
So, End of the World was, appropriately enough, the last show that I got to be in, and it was part of the last, One Act's last PCM full show, so that we all got to do. And I miss it terribly, and I certainly hope that, we can, in general, everything gets back to normal sooner than later, but I also, can't wait to get involved in more theater or be on stage again, and especially work with PCM, whether it's on stage or behind the scenes as well. The scene that, in question is interesting because it was basically, it was a conversation that Damien and I actually had about a year prior during Last Place on Earth rehearsals about Kurt Russell and his caliber, his acting abilities and whatnot, and who's better than him and who's worse. And Ken basically just, took that verbatim. He actually emailed us during the writing process and was like, can you remember any other details or whatever that, I can add to this to make it as true as possible? And that whole argument is really just Damien and I being Damien and myself. The other thing I did think was interesting about that show was it was actually the first time that Damien and I were by ourselves in a sort of self-contained show. We'd been in plenty of other full-length shows together with other cast members, and we'd been in scenes by ourselves together. But that was the first you know, full, even though it was a one act full sort of show where it was just the two of us, which is kind of crazy that it took that long to happen.